2020, the year of impeccability. See, in 2019, you didn't have to be impeccable to be successful. I mean, think about it. You probably lost sales in 2019 to competitors of yours that had lesser quality, lesser price, lesser standards, lesser service than you, but not in 2020. You know, in 2019, we were listed by globalgurus.org as the second best sales training program in the world, beating out Challenger and Spin and Solution and you name it. Go look it up on globalgurus.org. But yet we lost sales to lesser quality sales training providers. Our leadership sales coaching program won the best sales coaching program in the world. But again, we lost to competitors that had a lesser quality, lesser standard, lesser price. But not in 2020. In the last 3 months, our sales are up 2 to 3 times since the beginning of March. Well, why is that? It's obvious because, you know, when you're going through times of uncertainty, you're only going to choose the very best. You know, think about it. You yourself right now, you're only giving money to the best restaurants, to the best service providers, the best anything, right? Because that's what you want. If you're going to be pickier with where you give your money, so you're only the very best. So right now, in order to be successful in a market like 2020, you have to raise your standards. You have to choose to be impeccable in 3 areas. Number 1, your mindset. I wrote a book called The Mindset of a Sales Warrior. You should check it out. I talk about these strategies on how to be mentally tough in your areas of your self-image, your stories, your reluctances, your rules. Also your language. You know, when I mentor Satya and he says, you got to be impeccable with your words. You know, you got to speak truth to people. Make your word law. Make your word. Can they count on you with your word? And the last is your process, your sales process. You know, think about how many salespeople there are in the world. And how many of them, if I was to go up to them right now and say, just give me your process from beginning to end, just off the cuff, how many can do it? I guarantee only a handful. Well, that's because if you were to ask them, they would say, well, but every customer is different, Jason. Yeah, I get that. But here's the thing I want you to write down. And that is that inconsistent process leads to inconsistent income. Consistent process leads to consistent income. So for the first time ever, I'm releasing my process to you. This is my process, the 5-4-3. This is what all of our clients go through, and they swear by it. They say it just gives them complete certainty and peace, that they know if they just stick to the process, the score will take care of itself. So follow my process or create your own process, but you got to stick to one. You know, it's like, you ever heard the saying that, you know, you got to have 3 or 4 months of savings in the bank. Well, why is that? Well, because it gives you a certain level of certainty so that you can take risk. Like in my company, I run my company off a 13-week cash flow. So I know as long as I'm 13 weeks cash positive, then I know I can take risk. I can take those risks that I need. Well, that's what having a consistent process does for you that you can just go to. So anytime a customer gives you a curveball, you can always get back on track if you need to, because you know your process. It also allows you to focus on the customer, which might sound counterintuitive, but if you have a process embedded inside of you and it's second nature because you just know it without having to think about it, then it allows you to focus on the customer because now you don't have to worry about what you're going to say next. It's just, there's so many benefits to having it. But again, give yourself a gift in 2020 of owning your process, writing it out from beginning to end. Like right now, stop this video and just take your process and write it out from the second you say hello to a customer to the very end of wrapping the deal up. You know, just write it out. Write out your process from beginning to end. Use our 5-4-3 as a template for you. And again, I guarantee you, it'll give you the peace and the freedom that you all desire in 2020. And of course, what follows peace and freedom is increased income and increased quality of life.